Hello, everybody. Jonah with the Field of Geeks podcast here. Happy first day of summer. It's a beautiful morning out here, enjoying my first cup of coffee, and had an opportunity to see The Flash last night. And as many of you have probably heard me say on the podcast, repeatedly, I've never seen, Justice League or Batman v Superman. I don't really have a lot of affinity for some of those top tier DC characters, especially when it comes to the cinematic aspect of it. And so going into it, I had relatively low expectations. That said, I was really pleasantly surprised with how much I enjoyed this film. And not just me, my whole family. My wife, who is also not a superhero fan by any means, really liked this movie and said it was probably one of the better superhero movies she'd seen in a while. So I wanted to real quickly go through a few of the things that I liked about it, some of the things that maybe I didn't like so much about it. Spoiler free, of course, because I do recommend everyone goes out and sees this movie. I definitely think that it's worth it. So things that I liked. Ezra Miller. He is somebody that I still take some issues with. His voice sort of grates on me, and the whole time I'm trying to think of who he looks like, and then my wife reminded me that he looks like Jimmy Fallon, and then I couldn't stop thinking about that. But he did a much better job than I was expecting, and I enjoyed his performances a lot better than I was expecting. So Ezra Miller did a really good job. I'm actually kind of glad that Warner Brothers stuck with him. They didn't scrap him. I think that he did a good job. Are there people that I think could be a better Flash? Sure. But no, Ezra Miller did a good job. You then have Michael Keaton. He was the reason I wanted to see this movie. Even if he was the only part of the movie that I liked, which he wasn't. He was still one of my favorite parts of it, but he wasn't necessarily the only part of it that I liked, which is good. But he did. He killed it. I love seeing him as Bruce Wayne. I love seeing him as Batman. I wish I could pull off the ascots like he can. I might try it sometime, but we'll see. And then you've got other things that I enjoyed about it. The action I thought was good. It was pretty consistent throughout. I liked the little Easter eggs, the little nods to other DC properties, whether it's movies, comics, whatever. There were some really cool things in there that I actually really enjoyed. The computer generated images was not perfect, but it wasn't bad enough that it completely took me out of the film. And when they were using a lot of it, they did that consistently throughout with those sequences, and so it flowed well for me that way. And it was very funny, especially the first half. My wife and we laughed out loud several times in the theater. She even snorted once, and that doesn't happen very often. And so I really enjoyed the movie. Like I said, it wasn't perfect. There were some things that I didn't necessarily care for, especially during the second act, with some of the sequences. But all in all, I thought it was really good. I'm sure we'll probably do a more spoilery podcast or a spoiler review on the podcast, because there's a lot of other things that I would love to talk about with everybody. So I'm really looking forward to that. But in the meantime, go check it out. As for me, the next movie I'm looking forward to seeing is probably going to be Indiana Jones. And then July, there's tons of stuff in July I'm looking forward to going out and seeing. So going to be a busy summer. A lot of good movies coming our way, and I can't wait to share them with, talk about them with everybody. So go see The Flash. Enjoy that first day of summer, and I'll talk to y'all soon.